Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another episode of discussing our hobby and unboxing something and talk about what you guys got going on in your lives. Talk about what I got going on in mine. Oh, come on. This is what I got in the mail. By the way, did you see the pre-orders? Holy cow. Sideshow Con or whatever they're calling it. Jeez. So what did I pre-order? See, it's a Doctor Strange Iron Man, right? And the Deadpool Iron Man, if I remember correctly. And a Deathlock Spider Man, the Mark One diecast Iron Man, and the black and gold Spider Man from Spider Man There Ain't No Way You're Ever Coming Home movie due to COVID. Spider Man. What else? There's another one that I ordered. It's a big drop of new figures. Holy cow! I was surprised. My Chrome is not responding over here. This is the AI 006 figure, art figures. Um, I think these were the people that made the first Crossbones, if I remember correctly. I think they also made the second version of the Crossbones, which is better. The first version didn't look much like him at all. I had to change out his clothes, and still I don't have the armor chest piece to make him look like Crossbones. But the head sculpt is all right. So that's who this is. This is the Claw. I think that was his name, right? The Claw. The guy from the Black Panther time storyline. The arms dealer who loses his arm from Ultron in Age of Ultron. So it's nice to get Black Panther figures. Anybody related to Black Panther storyline. Uh, it was a really good storyline. So many powerful characters there that really deserve a figure, and I just wish that they would get with the program. So it's good to see, in my opinion, any third party retailer picking up the slack that Hot Toys or anybody doesn't follow through with. Come on. I pay for gigabyte download speed, and I get, gosh, I think a 50 upload speed, and I can't get the freaking YouTube to play over here on the computer. It's a sorry computer. It was a Windows 8 that I upgraded to Windows 10 to try to salvage it. Windows 8 was a joke in the first place, and I mean Windows 8, not 8.1. And I've upgraded it to the 8.1. It's never worked with the flip. Never has. Arms dealer. That's what they called him. I think he was, I forget what his name was. But he's in a couple of the movies. And he played, a pivotal point in the movie too. So it wasn't just like he was somebody standing around in the background not doing anything. He actually had some story to him, some cause for being there. Did y'all get one of these? You know, I would think for a fact that Save All Mason would get one. He's the villains collector, but he says he doesn't buy the third-party figures. And I don't know if it's because he has a problem with the quality of them, or he's just waiting for Hot Toys or someone of that effect to make one. I really don't know. So it'd be interesting to see if he picked this up or passed on it. He's definitely a villain, for fact. And I don't know if I'd call him though necessarily a villain. He's a profiteer. Um, like they would point out that Tony was also, but Tony would respond that the money that he uses, that he makes from selling the weapons to the government, they use to advance medical discovery and to end world hunger. All right. Oh, we get an instruction manual. That's pretty rare on third-party figures. Let's see what this says. Talks about equipping the prosthetic arm. Wow. Take off the outfit. So you have to strip his top all the way off, body all the way off, clothes off the upper portion of his body. Carefully pull out the detachable arm. Place the top part of the prosthetic arm into the slot as shown. Put on the outfit. Carefully assemble the rest parts of the prosthetic arm as indicated. Caution, be careful when handling and posing the figure to avoid damage to the outfit. The small wires and spindles on the prosthetic arm are delicate. Be careful when handling to avoid damage. There you go. A lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of stuff. The lid has come off in transit, so everything is kind of shifted around. You can see that the lid is up off of this, so if I were to tilt it forward, everything would just fall clean out. So evidently when they vacuum formed this, the tolerance was off just enough to make it so that it's too loose. And the bottom shell of the plastic case is cracked, so they used too thin plastic when they extruded it, right? I don't know if this magazine clip is supposed to be floating around or supposed to be inside this firearm here. The firearm's missing one. It doesn't really seem to have a spot for it. So now that we got everything in there, I'll show you. Yeah, this doesn't close down all the way. So that's why all the pieces are loose around it. This doesn't snap in place. There's these little snaps here that are designed to snap into place. They just, whoever was operating the machine that day didn't do a very good job of it, or the designer didn't, one or the other. But that's all the pieces that come in the box. These metal cases used to be, back in the day, if I remember correctly, the company that made them was Halliburton, right? I don't know if anybody else ever made metal cases. I don't know if this is a Halliburton case or if there's another company that makes them now. They've been famous for decades for their metal cases. So that's how thick it is. I'm seeing if it opens up. It wants to open up, but backwards. Which leads me to believe it's probably not supposed to open up. Yeah, it's not supposed to open up. I have metal cases, 1/6 scale metal cases, if I need a case to open up. But as I pull on the back of it, I can see these two little pins inside there. So that tells me that it probably shouldn't be opened in order for those pins to be there. That's not a hinge. So I imagine it can be opened if you desire to. This appears to be a necklace and a necktie. And I'm only guessing. I'm almost positive that's a necktie. Good luck tying that around his neck. I don't know what I'm going to do with that, to tell you the truth. Was the Claw his name? Was he called the Claw? What's his name? Willie Woodson, how you doing, man? Local Lou, how's it going? New York. Welcome to the channel. He has two sidearms here, two firearms. And this one actually has an inscription on the side. It says Glock 17. Now that's pretty rare for them to go to that extent of it. The silencer on it, you can slide the you can rack it to load it, and the magazine comes out with a silencer on it. That's pretty cool. Actually says on Glock 17, little micro inscription on it. And there's a round at the end of the magazine, so you can see which direction it goes in. It's good for anybody that decides they want to try to do a stop motion animation type thing with these figures. You can actually show the firearm discharging. So you get this sidearm, and this one's different. It is a .1911. I don't know which manufacturer of 1911. The same thing, you can slide the slide back, and There's the magazine with a round in it. And when you slide the slide back, by the way, with the magazine in the chamber, in the handle of the firearm, you can actually see the round at the end of the magazine ready to be chambered into the barrel. So again, like I said, it's for that minute realism. If you're wanting to pose or take pictures or whatever of your firearms in your figure's hands being discharged or whatever. I think this is a type of a. I think firefighters use these, right, for prying open stuff. I don't remember him using it. I'm sure he did. That's why it's included. We have a holster for extra clips, extra magazines for the 1911. And a holster for, I'm assuming, a firearm. I don't know where these actually attached on him is the question. I don't see. I guess you put it on his belt, around his waist. So it looks like. So there's little slots in the back of this one, so you thread the belt through there. And on this one, there's an extra piece of material on the back. So you slide the belt all the way through that. So these are designed, gosh dang it, to go on his belt. Drop that right to the floor. So here's his prosthetic arm. Creepy, isn't it? Wonder if it can be assembled. Well, it's articulated, so I just moved it in that manner. I'm going to say no. Now, one of you who happens to be industrious could probably do this. Um, I don't believe that person is me. But there's multiple joints there in that arm to be positioned. It looks like it's 3 bars with articulation in each one of those positions. So I'm going to say it's not designed to go back, especially because these bottom pieces down here, they don't seem to be movable at all. So if you want his arm together, don't put this on his body. Truthfully, be the correct answer, I would assume. It's pretty neat. Pretty neat. No figure base. That's fine. I'm sure I've got a few of them floating around. Curious though, do I really have to take off this entire shirt and vest in order to be able to put this onto his arm? Gosh, makes me wish I'd bought two of these now. Look at that face. A face only a mother would love. I mean, it looks like him. Did a pretty good job. I know who it's supposed to be. I can tell who that is. Right? Got tattoos up his arm. So you probably won't be swapping the body out due to the tattoos there. Unless you're planning on trying to duplicate those onto the next body. He's solidly built. I mean, he's believable for being the figure. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I look at him and say, who's this supposed to be? Ant-Man? No, I know exactly who it's supposed to be. No question about it. Tattoos on his head sculpt. The vest looks good. Clothes feel silky, so it's a nice polyester clothing that'll hold their appearance. Shoes look nice. A good job. Not bad if you wanted to add him to your collection. Like I said, especially if you're a villain collector. I really don't want to take his clothes off to get to this arm here. I'm going to see if I can slide this sleeve up. Truthfully, that's really what I want to do. I don't want to go through this whole process just to swap this arm out. We have, by the way, still in the package are 3 wrist pegs, which is nice. Normally you get 2. And then we have, so he has 2 fists on his hands in the first place. We have a left holding hand. We have a right trigger finger hand. And then we have a left sword holding hand, which would be good for that pickaxe that he has. And a right sword holding hand. So if you're going to put 2 hands on that pickaxe. And I don't remember that scene from the movie where that comes into play. But if I could swap this arm out, and let's look at the instructions again. If I could swap this arm out without having to take this whole shirt and vest off, It gives me more of a posability option because that tells me it's a simple swap in and out without having to disassemble the entire figure later on if I decide I want to pose him with both hands. So it appears to go right dead center of his bicep. So we need to be able to get the sleeve up to at least halfway to his bicep. It's interesting they show this prosthetic piece disassembled as though it is designed to come out there. Um, this bottom flesh piece here is really in there tight. I'm not getting any movement at all as I try to slide it. So I don't know if it's really designed to come out. I'm pretty sure they've glued it in there. I'm pulling now on this weapon and the bicep, and I'm not feeling any give. I don't feel any. As I'm giving a little gentle twist, I don't feel any give at all. So I'm assuming it's been glued in there. So even though they show it separated, I wouldn't recommend it unless you're trying to customize something. So see if we can get this sleeve up to his bicep, halfway to his bicep. So I am able to get it to there, okay? So it can be swapped out in that manner. It's going to be like shoving a neck into a shirt where the shirt is all in the way of the neck and you're trying to get it in there and the shirt keeps bunching up around it and you got to get the shirt up underneath the neck. It's the same thing you're going to experience here if you do it this way, but it's going to save you time and effort of having to remove everything off of him. And there it just comes off. And here you can see how far I was able to get the shirt up out of the way. So the proper way, as they tell you in instructions, is to remove the clothing and then put it on. And we'll say you don't need to do all that. And there it is, in case you decide at a later date you want to pose him with his natural looking arm. There's no elbow bend once this is on there. And that's what I just did. I tried to bend the elbow and it attached him from his bicep. So you're going to articulate it at the shoulder. Now we're in trouble. Slide this sleeve back up to his shoulder so we can get this piece back on there. Easily comes out, very easily. I'm sure I can probably get it in there tighter. Let's shove it on a little harder. put some effort into it. The butterfly shoulder is really small. It's not a big butterfly shoulder, so you're not going to be able to get much there. I'm going to recommend pulling the shirt back up the shoulder as far as you can before trying to adjust this in case the arm comes out of that bicep again. Let's try to straighten it out. There we go. There we go. And I'm sure I've got figure stands that I could put on there. They put red lines on the natural looking arm, so it would obviously be where the seams are in regards to the the arm opening up to reveal the weapon. If you can see the red lines on, they're really tiny, really faint, and hard to discern, but they're there, which adds to the realism of it. I think that works quite well. A lot of accessories, pretty good looking arm. A figure stand would have been nice, even a generic one, but not necessary. I've got a lot of them because of all the collecting that I've done of these style of figures. But and I can't imagine this being your only figure ever. But if you don't have a figure stand that you can use, you're going to want to pick one up. You can buy them all day long on eBay for just a few bucks. Just a generic stand. I think he works. I think he works good. The ankle's pretty loose, so you're definitely going to want him on a stand. Matter of fact, I don't want to leave him standing up, actually, because of these loose ankles. The feet are not moving; they're firmly planted on the table, and there's no effort. Now I'm trying to hold him, so the ankles are very loose. Definitely figure stand this guy. I can't even get him to stand up now. Just that little bit of rocking loosened up enough so that it won't even stand on his own. So no, he's definitely a figure stand figure. Claw, awesome, thanks. Doing good. Hey, Matt 2310, how's it going, dude? We're unboxing the Claw art figure AI-006. That's who that was, from the Black Panther movie, and he was in Age of Ultron. So, don't remember if he wore the same clothes in Age of Ultron, but you have the full arm, so you can either pose him before or after he discharges his prosthetic weapon. Jake, how's it going, man? Martin, how's it going, man? I still haven't checked out your channel. My God, dude, post a link for real, swear to God, right here in chat. Or down below, post it underneath to your channel. I want to check that out. You said you had a YouTube channel where you play some music. I love listening to music, and I'd love to see how talented you are. So I appreciate that. Please post it, please, begging you. I've got a bunch of Fison bodies on order, so I can finish off my Joys. I really want to get her going. Still heard nothing about my rescue suit. Everybody's getting the rescues, not me. I live in California, same place Sideshow is. What else did I get told was coming? Oh, I broke down and bought the the expensive Vampirella. I resisted buying that because they're wanting like $300 for the figure, and I really didn't want to spend $300 on it. I think it's called the Caroline Monroe Vampirella, and I'm assuming then that she was either cast as and played in, or was cast as to play in. I don't know if there was a Vampirella movie. I'm assuming that there was, in order for them to have that. I don't know. I really don't. But I love my Vampirella figures, and I have every one that they've made through TB League and Executive Replicas, I think is who it is that does those. And so I was finally like, I guess I'll just go ahead and get it. So how many Vampirellas are? I think there's 3 plus hers. Yeah, there's 3. There's the Asian version, the SHCC version, and then the other version, which I don't remember what it was called. And essentially, there's nothing different in this $300 one over the $200 ones, except the head sculpt of Caroline Monroe. So you're paying $100 for the, I think they give you 2 head sculpts. And that's just, I didn't want to spend the money on it for the longest time because I just thought that was way too much. I mean, now mind you, if you're to buy a head sculpt, they're going to cost you $60 plus in some of them. Some of them are relatively inexpensive. I mean, talking 10, 20 bucks for just a regular standard head sculpt. So maybe it's licensing fee that they had to recover, and I have a hard time believing that. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know why it is so expensive. But I finally bit the bullet and decided to go ahead and order it and get it. So it'll be here pretty soon because it's been sitting on the shelves, as you can imagine, because I don't think too many of you collectors out there also felt the need to drop $300 on that Vampirella figure. And I'm curious how aggressive the distributors were in regards to ordering those, because Vampirella, just like Lady Death, for the most part, sold pretty well. They had a pretty good following of figures that people would buy them, and but it was when it was at a reasonable price, and it just seems like a lot of money to spend on a Fison, because you can pick up the figure for $60. Okay, maybe not 60. I think they're a little more expensive now, but between 70 and $100, you can get pretty much any Fison figure. So let's say worst case scenario, $100 for the figure, and then in order to get to $300, at least $200. So that's the clothing, which you can buy clothes for whatever, $30, $40 also. It's just it's just, and there's nothing new in the figure. It didn't come with any additional features. It didn't come with any special piece that wasn't included in any of the other ones. Just the head sculpt. So I finally broke down and ordered that. So that'll be coming. What else have I got? I seen Toys Wonderland was advertising on their main page. When you go there, they showed they had 4 team suits, the Tony Stark team suits from Avengers, the time traveling suits. With one had Chris Evans head, one had the Paul, Hawkeye, Ant-Man, and Captain America heads on it. So they had 4 of them there. So Tony, Hawkeye, Ant-Man, and Captain America. So that tells me that you could do that. They used the head sculpt for Hawkeye from the Endgame movie, because he wasn't in Infinity War. If you remember, he was filming, I think the movie was called Tag or something along that line, where and he sprained his ankle or his wrist or something. He hurt himself in the filming of that movie, so he wasn't able to meet the requirements to be in the Infinity War movie. That's why he wasn't in it. So he had a real life accident during filming of another movie. So he's only in Endgame. So you have the Ronin figure, which I bought 2 of in the first place. So I have the extra head sculpt for that. And then the Ant-Man figure, I have the head sculpt on the Ant-Man. So I suppose I'll just take it off the Ant-Man and put his head sculpt onto the Avenger suit. So I need to buy 2 more Avenger team suits for that. And on the Avenger suit, you definitely need a neck for Ant-Man. And for Hawkeye, his neck is built into the head. So for the team suit, I don't know if you can see Giraffe Tony over here. I put Tony on top of this Captain America. The team suit comes without a neck. So you'll need to get a neck to use the Ant-Man head sculpt on it. So that's the only thing you'll need for that is a neck. I don't remember when Ant-Man comes with a neck. I don't think he does. Where's my A box? Here we go. No, I don't see a neck in here. And I know there's no neck on the suit. So I've got the head sculpt over there on that Ant-Man. So this would be a head sculpt that you could use for it. This came with Ant-Man and the Wasp, a head sculpt. So that would be on a team suit with a neck. And let's see, my Hawkeye. I noticed something else I've got going on today. It needs to be resolved quickly. That looks like a Nick Fury glove. Nope, Killmonger. Here we go. Okay. Here's a problem with Hawkeye. You get one head sculpt. So I don't have a extra head sculpt around. Doesn't make any sense. I bought 2 of them. He comes with a mask. He comes without a mask. What am I missing here? Right? Does he come with 2 head sculpts? Oh my God. Guys, I'm losing my mind. Does Hawkeye come with 2 head sculpts? I only have 3 Hawkeyes. I have AOU and the 2 in-games that I bought. So I could do a Ronin and a Hawkeye. Maybe I only bought... I'm losing my mind. No, I bought 2 of them. Help me out. You guys have any idea? You click my name, it will get to my channel, but I will make a post later today. Think your live chat goes away after the show, right? Yeah. Yeah, you can't live chat after the show, but you can post in comments below. Sure can. I want to show you this tragedy that's coming up that needs to be resolved quickly. So, gosh, I'd say easily 7 years ago, more or less, I took these tables and set them up here to build my Hall of Armor. And there's a lot of weight there. I mean, for real, there's a lot of weight. And I noticed today that bottom table is creating a bow. And I don't know how much time I got before that goes. Well, I'm gonna need to brace that up pretty quickly, or there's gonna be problems. I'll tell you that much right now. And it's beyond taking pieces off to relieve the weight of it. I mean, that's a very noticeable bow in that. And it would suck to be sitting here in the house one day and to hear that crash down. Oh my God. So I have been warned, obviously. I was looking at that this morning. I'm like, oh my God, that is a bow in that bottom table. So, and I don't know what the weight is of everything sitting on there. I have no idea. The legs are on the corners. So the weight of the top is distributed across that, because the only thing that's holding that top table up on top of it is the Hall of Armor pieces. So that's evenly distributed across the entire thing, but it's not out on the edges. It's literally just in the center. So all that weight is coming down in between the 2 legs. Oh my God. So I've got to get to work on that. No doubt. So if today, live on the show, this falls, I didn't have enough time to do anything to it. I'm not going to do it now, but it needs to be done. No doubt about it. I ordered the head sculpt for Chris, Captain America, to put on the Green Army uniform that I got last week, because the head sculpt that I'm using now is an angry, just gnarled face Captain America, and I don't like that for that suit. It shouldn't be this totally just pissed off look on his face. It should be a nice looking face. So I ordered the head sculpt for that. And gosh, I think it was like, I don't know. It certainly wasn't $100. It was under 50. I think under 25 even. To tell you the truth, I don't remember. But so I've got that coming. I still have 5 Detolfs I need to build. Save All Mason, we were talking about you, or I was, at the beginning of the show, because I unboxed the claw. And I know that you normally steer clear of third-party figures. I keep calling him the Claw. I think his name is just Claw. But I can't imagine why you wouldn't want this for your collection as a villains collector. And I discussed his, in my opinion, his moralness in regards to whether or not he's truly a villain, or whether he's just a profiteer. But then again, as you start thinking about it, even Tony Stark is a profiteer in that regards. But so I don't know if you would consider him a villain or not. But he's a pretty good figure. Loose ankles, so you're definitely going to need a figure stand for him. But I recommend him for you villain collectors specifically. And he's for Black Panther. The storyline there, he was in Age of Ultron, first time we saw him, and so he's a good piece to the Wakanda line, which they're not making enough figures for that grouping of characters. I mean, we had two movies that had a good story in it. Civil War, and then of course Black Panther. Black Panther 2 coming out, and there should be a lot more figures, in my opinion, representing the Wakanda stories. There's just a lot of characters that really should be built, and so I'm glad to see third-party people making this, because Hot Toys will never make this. It'll never happen. So I recommend them, and like I said, I remember you'd said before that you steer clear of third-party figures. I don't know if you steer clear from them because of quality, or because you're hoping that Hot Toys will make it one day. And Hot Toys, how many times have they let us down? How many times have they shown us a figure they were going to make and then never even made? So I'll stop putting half and half cream or in my milk. I buy regular dairy half and half, not the non-dairy half and half, but real dairy half and half. And I was reading something that was saying that the best dairy product that you could eat is Greek yogurt. So I decided to flavor my coffee with Greek yogurt, and it's settling at the bottom, so I'm giving it a stir. But I use the 0%, no flavor or vanilla flavor, Fage or thereabouts Greek yogurt for that. It's supposed to be good for you anyhow. So that's why I'm stirring my coffee, letting it slosh around to try to get that yogurt. Because it stirred it originally, that made it a little thicker. But now as it's sitting here, it's starting to settle. So something to consider making your coffee if you're trying to make yourself healthy to some degree or not, in that regards. What else? Got a lot of figures to unbox if I wanted to unbox one. I just don't have places for them, so I'm trying not to unbox them. And I can't even really give a decent room tour now because I've got stuff in front of everything. I suppose I can give a room tour because I'm kind of at a lull right now. Oh my God, did you guys watch Loki? If you're not watching Loki, you're really missing out. It's a great show, first off. Of the three, Scarlet Vision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Loki. I would say Loki's probably the best out of them. And no, not every single episode is good. A couple of, at least one was But that last episode, the season final, oh my God, what an episode! And of course, it says he'll return next year for season 2. And what a wait have we got to go through. So what was it, 6 episodes? So a month and a half. This is July, so started in June. So we're going to have to wait until June next year. Oh, my God. Seems forever. It seems like absolute forever when going through those. But of those 3 series that are on Disney, I would watch Loki over again from beginning and be just as pleased as I watched it the first time. WandaVision, I enjoyed that. I don't know if I'd watch it again. I might. Falcon, Winter Soldier, I would watch it again to pay a little more closer attention to what's going on. Because a lot of stuff was going on in the background, a lot of backstory and a lot of side stories was being explained and showed and stuff that I really wasn't paying that much attention to. And but Loki is a really good movie. Tom Hiddleston has proven himself to be a great actor on top of it all. And from my understanding, people said that he's a good person as well. So I have no problem in endorsing his product, which is those shows. These people, these actors and actresses, are executive producing these shows as well. So that means part of their money is going into these shows. So their neck is on the line. They've got skin in these shows, hoping that they produce money for them. And I don't know how it works through Disney. I don't know if it works just like on YouTube, if they get paid 2 cents per 1,000 people that view their show. Well, Tom, you had 1,000 viewers that watched the show. Here's your 2 pennies. I don't know. I have no idea. So, I recommend Loki for fact. And if you guys aren't subscribed to Disney Plus, you are truly missing out. You're really missing out. There's no doubt about that. You got Shark Week going on right now, which I've never watched Shark Week ever, but it was interesting last night. I was like, maybe I should watch some Shark Week. I super glued that strap onto the boot. This came broken when I unpackaged it. That bottom strap on that boot, the clear plastic one, was broken, so I super glued that on. So I've ordered another one of the bodies for this. I'm going to put her in the black shirt with the yellow coat. There's actually two. I went back and watched the movie again, and in one scene she has the long sleeve with the jacket, and another scene she has like a no sleeve. So either way, and with these leggings. So when that body comes, I'll be disassembling this and put it on that. And then I've got bodies coming for the default or the demo figure also. I really like my Joy. I've always been a fan of Blade Runner, the first Blade Runner, forever. And then of course when the new one came out, it just as thought provoking. And the Joy character again helped tell the story, because it's all about being more human than human. It's literally all about the replicants and their desire or need to be real or acknowledged, or emotions or whatever, and what separates humans from robots, and where does all that even stand. Oh, I watched the Han Solo movie the other day, which I had been reluctant to do. I'd heard good and bad things about it. So some people had said that it was a bad movie, and some people said that it was a really good movie, and not paying attention to the people that said it was a bad movie. What I will say is that it's not a bad movie. It's not a good movie. It's just it's just an entertaining movie. I didn't feel so much so. One of the things that people were saying was the way they had the Lando character portrayed with his relationship with the droid. That it was, I don't know, one of those things. And I didn't have a problem with his relationship with his droid. And there was one thing though that bothered me, and I'm trying to remember what it was. So whatever it was so minor that I don't even remember what it was that bothered me about the movie while I was watching it. For some reason, I can't think of any of the negative things that I had thought about the movie while I was watching it. So obviously, it's not a bad movie. So if you've not seen the Han Solo movie, which I can't believe any of you have not seen that, maybe you have, maybe you have been as like me and just steered clear of it. I recommend it. You know, if you're sitting around, haven't, don't know what to watch, haven't seen it before, check it out. It's not a bad movie. It does a pretty good story. I remember now. The beginning of the movie was a little long. It was more than it needed to be. Okay, so the first whatever it was, 5, 10, 15 minutes of where we're getting introduced to the characters of Han and his love interest at the time. It was a little long. It didn't need to be that long. So that's really the only complaint now that I remember as I'm looking back on it. It was longer than it needed to be, for real. That portion of it was. It just kind of droned on. It's like, okay, yeah, I got the point. Move on. You know. Other than that, it was a pretty good movie. And we get some story on Chewbacca, because we get to see how Han and Chewie meet, and which is nice. They put a little, that's the word I'm looking for. They fleshed out Chewie more. You get to see some of his way of thinking, I guess. Which it's interesting because we've seen him for so many movies. You know, we feel that we know Chewie pretty well, and so it was nice to see him with some insight to who he is. So that was neat. That was really neat. Now, I don't remember or don't know if he's played by the same actor. I know Anthony Daniels has been the only one ever to play C-3PO, but I don't know if Peter Mayhew, if he's even still alive, or if he was the one who played Chewie in this movie. I don't remember. I'd have to check the credits. But the Han Solo movie was pretty good. Oh, the Deadpool Korg trailer. Oh my God. That's for the movie Guy, or Free Guy, or The Guy, or something. Uh, Ryan Reynolds, comedic genius. I don't know how much liberty he has in what he does on his channels and his commercials and stuff. I don't know if he's has writers that do everything for him in that manner, and all he has to do is deliver a line that's given to him, or if he does his own writing, or if he ad libs. I don't know his story, but I loved that the review of the trailer for Free Guy or The Guy or whatever. When I went to see Black Widow last week, the that was one of the trailers that was shown previous to Black Widow, and I don't remember seeing it before seeing it in a theater. And it looks like an interesting story. Kind of reminded me of Truman Show, but not. Uh, it also kind of reminded me of, there was another television show that came out, or a movie that came out a couple years ago about similar to, you know, your first person shooter style game, and it's because you're seeing it from the eyes of the protagonist from the minute the movie starts, and he's just going through life. You know, he wakes up, and then I forget what the name of that movie was. So, but these are movies that came to my mind when seeing the commercial, but it's its own movie as well. So it looks interesting. It looks pretty funny, and of course, the trailer with Korg and Deadpool is priceless. Ryan Reynolds is priceless, absolutely priceless, and I thought Korg was pretty good. Deadpool's like, I give the movie 4 out of 5 avocados, and Korg's like, I was raised by avocados. Jesus, check it out if you've not seen that trailer. It's absolutely hilarious, absolutely hilarious. And I don't know if Korg is a full-on AI character, totally AI character, or if somebody's acting him first and then they AI over him, or what. But I've always enjoyed Korg, and I'd love to have a Korg. I guarantee you, it's another one of those that we'll never get. So it's like the Black Order. I think there's two of them that have been announced by third party retailers, resellers, fabricators, manufacturers, and I think I've got both of those on order. If I remember correctly, it may only be just one, but we won't. Hot Toys will never make the Black Order. Thanos' children won't happen. Um, so yeah, gobble those up. The guy comes out, I guess, August 13th or something like that. So next month, definitely worth watching. I like Ryan Reynolds. I'd liked him all the way back from what was the name of his show? It was called the movie where he was a college big man on campus. What was the name of that show? That movie. But no, he definitely. I was watching X-Men Origins Wolverine, and it was interesting what they did with Deadpool in that movie. And it's nice where at the end of Deadpool 2, right, where he got the time thing and he went and killed Deadpool off in that scene from X-Men Origins Wolverine. It was great. Let's see what else. I guess we can do a room tour. A kind of room tour. Because some of the figures I'm not going to be able to show you, as I've got boxes and whatnot in front of them. There's my Black Widows. Yeah, you guys told me not to do motion captured. Okay, so there's an actor that plays them, and then they motion capture on top of it and AI that. Yeah, I decided to Faisen that Black Widow, and her suit disintegrated. Absolutely disintegrated. So if I could find somebody that makes these suits, that would make this suit, I would love that. I need this suit. But here's my Black Widows that are not already in a group. I have all the Black Widows. And there's Advanced Suit Spider-Man from the PlayStation game, and Scarlet Spider, who I thought was the best Spider-Man when I was reading the comics years ago. Mark IV Spider Armor and Spider Noir from the PlayStation game also. Negative Suit Spidey. Anybody wants to buy that, by the way, I'll give you a really good deal on the Negative Suit Spidey. Well, I'm not giving them away, but... And there's the two Iron Spiders, one by Sentinel re-edit, and the other one by Hot Toys. Down there we got 2099 Black Suit, another Scarlet Spider, and Spider Punk. And there's the Venoms, and it merges in with the Deadpool. And the Tony that I thought we were going to get an answer in the Black Widow movie, which we did not. And there's the Mark 47 and Spider-Man Far From Home suit. Or actually, that suit's been in every movie so far. So, every movie that Tom Holland has been in, that's the suit that he's wore. And there's the Mark 50 and the other version of Iron Spider from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And there again is same suit and the Molten Man and Night Monkey. Down on the bottom I've got droids and black suit Spidey, I believe. Black and red suit Spidey, advanced suit, or I forget what they call it in the movie. Loving these third-party figures. They work perfectly well in that. and Hulkbuster 2. Age of Ultron base for Ultron. Electro, Jamie Foxx. Iron Spider in the case. Homemade suit, Ned, and Iron Spider with his web wings. Oh, looks like Ned's falling down there. I got their school uniforms down there. I've got Zadoya on order. There's the black and red suit. Spidey there with his wings. One of the wings is falling down there. I need to pick it up. And there's a black suit Miles just chilling out. Back there's Veronica that the Hulkbuster 2 was in. And here's Toby and Green Goblin. Third party. I forget who made that Green Goblin. It's really nice, actually. The Fiend. And Doc Ock. And I think that's the wrong Spider-Man for that Doc Ock. And down there I've got the black suit. Spidey with Sandman. And blah, blah, blah. There you go. Miles and my Mary Jane and Miles and Gwen and Felicia Hardy Black Cat and Gwen and Gwen and Gwen and Gwen and Gwen. Fisons. I think all of these are Fisons except for the Miles. But all these are Fison figures. Agent Phil Coulson. His first name is Agent, right? Isn't that what Tony tells us? Bruce back there. Hella. Glad to have her back. Sold her back when I needed some money to pay bills. Picked her back up again. There's Ant-Man. Nick Fury. Maria Hill, Star-Lord from Endgame, Scarlet Witch. That's a, oh God, who made that Hulk? I finally have an Avengers Hulk. I need to unbox him. How to do that now? But that was made by, God, I don't remember who. I think I only paid like $60 for him. There's Ronin. And Captain America with his shield from Wakanda. And the Black Panther back there. T'Challa. Vision over his head. Falcon from Civil War. And Winter Soldier. I need to buy that Winter Soldier from Endgame or Infinity War. I forget which one it is with the dissolving arm. Infinity War, I guess. And there's blonde-haired Black Widow. And Rocket. And War Machine Mark 6. If I remember correctly. Or is it 4? Hold on. 4. Right? 6. War Machine Mark 6. Doctor Strange from Doctor Strange, right? Wasn't it Doctor Strange? Yondu with his advanced Mohawk. And Gamora and Drax. I finally got Drax. I'm glad to have that. And Groot and Rocket on his shoulder. And Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. But I have him in the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 outfit. Because it came with both. If you missed the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 Star-Lord, you can buy the 2 and pretty much make a 1. And there's Loki from Avengers. I was happy to have him. I've been missing him for a long time. Thor behind him. And then Loki from Infinity War? I forget. I did. I seen Black Widow on the 8th, the Thursday last week at 5 o'clock. I sure did. It was a good movie. Had a nice car chase scene. It had some great action sequences with the fighting was done really well. I enjoyed how they portrayed the women in the movie as being women of power without having to destroy a man in order to get to that position. You know, these women were empowered women. They didn't use the Star Wars way of putting a woman in position of authority. They showed empowered women being empowered as women. So I enjoyed that. Some people may have a problem with the beginning of the movie, as it talked about how the women became Black Widow associates in the first place. But we knew the story anyhow. She told us the story. If you'd been following it in the Marvel Cinematic Universe over the years, you would already know what was up with that. So it's kind of fleshed it out, if you will. So there's my Gamora from Volume 2 and a couple Captain Marvels and Drax in the red pants. You get both pants with the Drax, so I bought 2 Drax. Killmonger, Mark 41. Tony in the Avengers suit after he time travels back. And Obadiah Stane. Yeah, no doubt. 1/6 scale collecting is the space. So that Obadiah head sculpt came with the Ironmonger. And so then I bought the suit to put them together. And there's Pepper, the only Pepper we've ever got. And I would love to have another Pepper Potts figure. And that's the Mark 85, right? There's Odin and testing suit Tony back there. Hulkbuster 2 with the 43 suit. There's my Black Panthers. And then there's a Iron Man Mark II, which is what was used to make War Machine Mark I. And then you have the 3 versions of the Mark II that were available. So you had the Avenger suit Mark II, the Mark II from, what was it, Civil War, right? And the Iron Patriot. And then the 3 and the 4. And then, of course, here's the Mark I, which I've ordered to die cast. It's back there. And there's a Mark II back there. There's no Mark III. I need to get a Mark III in there. 4, 5, 6, 7. And those are all plastic, if I remember correctly. And that's the Mark IX, which they said was the one that Pepper used to destroy Killian. And it's not. She used the Mark VIII. We never got a Mark VIII. We got a Mark IX. I have Disney Plus, so it'll be streaming in October. So I'll watch it again then. The Mark 15 Retro. The original Mark 15 is black and gold. And the Mark 20 Python. Mark 21 Midas. Chrome version. Plastic chrome version. Which was available only through Disney Shanghai, I think, when it opened up. So I paid a pretty penny for that piece. And it's one of my absolute favorite pieces. That Mark 21 Chrome there. Love it. One of my absolute favorites. Just a Mark 7 painted gold. But they didn't take a 7 they had off of the shelf and painted gold. It was actually fabricated as a Mark 21 from the start. Mark 22 Hot Rod. Mark 23 Shades. Standing on the diorama base from the Iron Man Mark I. And there's Nick Fury from Avengers. And here's the 24 Tank. 25 Thumper. 26 Gamma. 27 Disco. 36 Peacekeeper. And the red and gold Mark 41, a little retro of that guy. And here we have Hobo Peter B. Parker. Mantis, love that one. There was 2 companies that were making it, and I waited on the second one, and it took like a year and a half to come up after that second one. And I was so happy to get it. And then there's Wasp. She was also another one that came late. With, I think, an SH Figure Arts down there Wasp, Mark 38 Igor, and Infinity War Thor. Heimdall, I think it's called the Omniscient, as a Toys R Us, if I remember correctly, figure. And there we have Ragnarok Hulk, Gladiator Hulk, Hulk Planet Hulk, whatever you want to call it. Fat Thor, Ragnarok Thor back there, and a Mark 42 that I customized and cut the head out in order to be able to put that there. And there, of course, is the Red Skull and Johann Schmidt. So as it goes around through the 36, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 46, 45, 46 concept, 46, 47, 50, and I'm going to put the team suit right there. Up here is the Mark 7s with the chocolate or the stealth. And Mark 7 die casts with all the pieces blasted off. And the Arctic, I think is what that was called, or white chocolate. And that's the chrome, the die cast Mark 21 Midas. Chrome really isn't right. He's not chromed out like this one is. Well, that's totally chromed. This is the die-cast Mark 21. Which, my opinion has been, if they make a Mark 21 die-cast, they'll make the rest of the Hall of Armor. That's been my opinion, but I've been wrong in the past. And that's a stealth with fade-out pieces, little clear pieces that were added to it to show him stealthing out. We definitely need a Hot Toys Korg. And there's some Captain Americas. Captain America shelf. And like I said, I don't care for that angry face on that outfit. Peggy Carter. I need a light for these. All these will go into a Detolf sooner or later. And there's the Star Wars shelf. The droids. And some Jawas. Corvus Glaive, no doubt. I forget which ones that the third parties have made. Only reason I bought that Ray, by the way. That's a Thyssen Ray. So I made sure I wanted to put her knees so you can see her knees. That's why I did that. And her shoulders. But that's a Thyssen Ray. Bought the Ray for the BB-8. It's the only way you could get it back then. Some Stormtroopers. I got a whole bunch of Stormtroopers to go with my land speeder to be able to recreate that scene. That's later on down the road. I got Steve sitting there, old man Steve, sitting there only because I have no place else to put him currently. Extra pieces in these little plastic boxes. So this is the order that these suits showed up in Iron Man 3, with Heartbreaker being the first one, Mark 17 Heartbreaker, and 39 Star Boost on his right, and the 40 shotgun on his left, with 35 Red Snapper. See a 27 Disco flying behind him. And there's the Mark 33 Silver Centurion, Mark 15, Mark 30 Blue Steel. There's a ceiling fan, and there's the original Mark 21 Midas. And here's the Holy Grail shelf. It's the Mark III Stealth, Mark III, what do they call it? Secret Project, right? Or was that the Gunmetal? I forget which one was called which. One's called Secret Project, the other one's called Gunmetal. Between the Mark III and the Mark IV. And there's a Mark IV Hollow back there. Mark IV Neon Tech. Mark VI Neon Tech and a Mark VI diecast. So they have the Mark, forget whether it's Mark 50 or Mark 85 that they've done in Neon Tech. I don't even care. I'm just totally passing on that. I'm so over the Neon Tech, it's not even funny. There's Tony Stark with the dissolving suit. Not made by Hot Toys, but Hot Toys has one that was coming out in a couple of years. There's a diecast Mark V, one of the most amazing pieces that I have. And that was a third-party company that made that exploding Mark V suit there from the briefcase. Infinitely posable. And that's a Mark V plastic up against Whiplash Mark I. And here's my Ant-Man. And Nebula, I really want to buy a second Nebula so I can put the little gold piece on her head there. And there's a yellow jacket made by SH Figure Arts, I think it was. 1/9 scale. Hot Toys promised us a yellow jacket. Never happened, never will. Another Ant-Man back there. And this was the Loki from Avengers where he was made his appearance more or less. And I love that third party. It's not the right head sculpt, but it works, right? There's the Fison shelf. Secret Agent back there, Poison. Velma and Daphne from Scooby-Doo. 2B. And Scarlet Witch. We have Leonidas and the Slave Girl. Punisher in an Iron Man War Machine suit. And Daredevil back there. And down there is the Man, Stan Lee, the Iron Legion, and Ultron Mark I. Over here we have Patrick Stewart. And what is that? The Crossbones. So yeah, there's no space for all of these. If I take everything and throw it out the front door, I'd have space for everything. I've got some in the other room too. I'll show you those. Stuff needs to be put away. There. The Avengers versus Ultron. And there's a Mark III versus Ironmonger. And a Mark VI at Avengers Tower. Mark II on a gantry. Mark VII diecast. And a Mark IV on the gantry. And the Mark VI Whiplash Mark II. And the War Machine Mark I diecast. So that's everything. Well, just about everything. Not impressive when there's a bunch of stuff in front of it. All right? It's not as nice as it used to be before everything kind of got put in the way. I need to spend some time in this room fixing all this. There's a lot of figures there that haven't been unboxed yet. There's just don't have any room for them. And they're duplicate figures, so it's not new figures that I haven't unboxed yet. The dewback right there. That's what that is. My Star Wars figures need an unbox. And the Hulk from Avengers right there. So I probably should unbox. But where am I going to put them once I unbox them? That's the problem. So I hope that was acceptable. Wasn't as pretty as a beautiful setup room. Trying to land speeder over there. Just give you an idea what's going on. Let's see, is there anything I skipped there? Thank you about the Iron Man collection. Thank you. There's not many Iron Man pieces I'm missing. Um, there's a Mark III that I'm missing. I just didn't see the need in buying it. There's a Mark VI that I'm missing also. Same reason, I've got like 6 Iron Man Mark VIs, and I think 3 Iron Man Mark IIIs. I just didn't see the need to buy those extra pieces that just have a little extra piece here or there. So I'm missing out on those. Other than that, I think I have every single Iron Man. No, I didn't order the retro Iron Man that's coming out. That's supposed to be kind of like a comic book Iron Man. I didn't order those. And then I think I've got every single Iron Man. Well, I don't have the plastic version War Machine Mark One or the Milk. So neither one of those. And that's because the diecast came available a couple years later. So I just bought that. The War Machine Mark One was just too expensive for me to justify buying at the time. Now, heck, the price they were offering for it back then, $400, when Iron Man figures were just around $300. I didn't see spending $400 on it. And so then diecast came out and it was $400, but it was diecast. So I don't think I'm missing any Iron Man figures other than that. Oh, I don't have the Tony Stark Rose Hill, which I've always wanted. I just never got around chasing down. I also don't have the first Tony Stark in his testing outfit from Iron Man. I don't have that, but that's been, I think, re-released by somebody. I think I've got that on order, but I don't have that either. And then I think that's all of the Iron Men. I've got them all. Robert, how's it going, man? Welcome to the channel. Happy Saturday. Iron Man Mark 1 diecast. You know, it's so funny because all the way back in 2015 is when they promised us diecast Iron Man figures. Okay. And what was the very first one? Was it the Hot Rod? What was the very first diecast? Or was it an Iron? Was it a War Machine? I forget. But the one that they showed us in their diecast promo of the Iron Man suits coming out in diecast was, believe it or not, the Mark 17 Heartbreaker. The Mark 17, right? 17's Heartbreaker was supposed to be diecast. That was the advertisement. They showed that figure and it said diecast coming, and it didn't. That figure wasn't released yet. When that figure came out, came out as plastic. But that was the one that they showed us, telling us that diecast was coming. Then, as diecast pieces didn't come, the question came to Howard Chan of Hot Toys. Well, what is the plan on diecast? And he goes, well, for fact, we will do the first 7 in diecast. That was what he said. He said, for fact, we will do the first 7. And I guess if I remember correctly, the Mark III was the first one. And the 3 and the 2 are way out of proportion. They need to be redone, truthfully, because now they've properly proportioned them. So they really need to re-release the 2 and the 3. I think everyone would agree with me, as a matter of fact, on that. And then the 4 and 6 came out diecast, right? And really the difference between the 4 and 6 are minor. I mean, absolutely minor. And then the Mark V came out as an unbelievable piece, diecast piece, beautifully engineered. One of my favorite pieces, the diecast Mark V. And then finally the Mark VII came out. And when 2 or 3 years ago, they quit releasing the Hall of Armor pieces. The last one they teased us with was the Mark 28 Jack. And I think that was teased as it was a shadow piece in with the Mark 40 shotgun or the Mark 27 disco. I forget which one it was, but they were selling the one figure, and in the background was the Mark 28 Jack, which is similar to the Heartbreaker. Um, so that was the next piece supposedly to come out, and it never happened. So that was also when they started spinning up the diecast figures. So my opinion at that point was that they halted all of the Hall of Armors because of anticipation of the Mark 7 diecast coming out, because so many of the Hall of Armor pieces from 8 to 30, let's say 34, from 8 to 34, so many of those pieces in there require Mark 7 pieces in order to be a piece. Now, Mark 16 is a single solitary piece that was never released, and the Mark 37, the 16 is nightclub, and 37 was the undersea one. I forget what it was called. Neither one of those were contingent upon any other figure. They just didn't release those two. So when all the Hall of Armor were put on hold, and I felt that the reason they were doing that is because they were wanting to wait for the Mark 7 diecast to come out so they could redo them. My opinion was, if they make the Mark 21 diecast, which is a simple repaint, and I hate using that term repaint because it really is a screen scene armor. Unlike the neon techs, those are repaints. Those truly are money grabs. But the Mark 21 Midas is not a repaint. It's actually a screen scene armor. My opinion always was, if they give us the Mark 21 Midas as diecast, it's on. We'll get the rest of the Hall of Armor. I couldn't tell you if that's still the case or not. I mean, that was my opinion. That's still my opinion. I can't tell you whether or not Hot Toys is going to be doing that. I would hope so. I hope that that's what they're doing. I hope that we get those. And I'd like to see, the 8, the 9, the 10, the 11, 12, all of them, in diecast. So there's pieces like, for instance, the 38 Igor. I don't think it's important to make that a diecast, truthfully. It's fine as it is. If they wanted to redo it again, go right ahead. But I would think that would be one that they could just leave alone, truthfully. I would say probably the same thing with the Mark 41, the prehensile suit, the prototype prehensile suit, because if it's busting apart, I don't know if diecast would be important in that regards. So there's a couple suits that I could see them not redoing in diecast for whatever reason. But other than that, I can't imagine why they wouldn't do the others. Star Boost would be nice as a diecast. Mark 39, God, that'd be great. But be interesting to see what's going on now that the Mark 1 has been announced. It'd be nice for them to crank up the Hall of Armor and to revisit the Iron Legion, because they showed us the gray one and we never got that, which is number 1. We ended up getting number 3, and it's easy. That truthfully would have been a repaint. And again, I hate using the term, but it would have been just so easy for them to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there are many collectors that would buy those. I, of course, would have bought all 5 of them. Terrence, his name is Ironman SG. He paid somebody to fabricate those from the 3. So he has the whole collection of them, and a prototype one without a number on it. So he actually paid an artist to repaint those. And that white paint on there is a pearl. Oh man, the work in order to be able to do that, the true artisans, some of the people out there to customize these Iron Man figures and whatnot are true artists. And I acknowledge that artwork that you guys are able to do into some of these figures. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Oh my God, I have to stay away from the Boba Fett line, the Mandalorian line. I would buy every single one of them. I would. And I mean, I'm going, it's a crying shame with the room and the amount of money invested just in the MCU. Star Wars is slowly starting to consume me, it seems. My God, all those Mandalorian figures, it's amazing. And I don't know how many Boba Fetts there are now, like 12 different Boba Fetts. Jeez, and I would buy them all if I got started on it. I would buy them all. I sure would. I thought Loki finale was amazing, absolutely amazing. I am so looking forward to next year. Absolutely so looking forward to it. Um, so WandaVision was a pretty good series. Falcon and Winter Soldier was a pretty good series. The middle movies, the middle episodes between 2 and 5 were mediocre. The first episode and the last episode were really good. Loki kind of suffered from that same thing. First episode was really good. Sixth episode was really good. Really good. Um, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think one of those was kind of weak. I think it was number 5. Truthfully, was the one that I thought could have been done better. But that was the one with, oh my goodness. I'm gonna give you a week. Next week we're going to talk about Loki, and spoilers going to be on. Either you get out there and buy Disney and start watching it, or you're going to get spoilers. I want to talk about Loki. I want to talk about Loki. Really enjoyed that, but the final episode was amazing, absolutely amazing. Really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed that. Caught me totally off guard. Totally. Really interesting. And I don't know who that character was. I don't know if he's an MCU. I mean, if he's an Earth 616 character from the comics that they introduced, or if he's somebody who was made just for the Loki show. I mean, I want to talk about that next week. I hope you guys can answer that question for me, because I don't know who he was. Cartoon version of GI Joe coming out. Oh, speaking of cartoon version, the What If television series. Oh my God! And that's some of the, I guess, the figures that are being announced. The Doctor Strange Iron Man and the Deadpool Iron Man. I guess those are what ifs. But yeah, the whole What If line is coming out. I think that's on Disney, right? Also, if you, I swear to God, if you're not watching, if you're not subscribed to Disney at this point, you are for real, really missing out. And no, Disney doesn't give me nothing. I pay regular price for it. Disney don't give me any paid promotional consideration or nothing. So I'm just sharing it because it's our hobby, and it's full on. Disney is full on, totally. Retromark 15, yeah. The 15 is a neat one. It has an arm that we never got an explanation to. The two arms are different, and we never got an explanation as to what that was all about. And I have both, the red one and the original one, the actual one from the movie, which is the black and silver, and the red and gold. I have them both. I love them. Digging the comic book one coming out. You're talking about the Iron Man comic one? That's probably the only one that I passed on, and I'm seriously looking at it, thinking maybe I ought to pick it up no matter. It comes in 4 versions. Well, you buy one, but you can make 4 different versions of it. So you have 2 different head sculpts for different ways that the Iron Man head sculpt was in the comics, and then you have like this clear plastic piece that goes over it, which I guess is supposed to represent a force field or something. I really don't know what that is, but so you can display it, um, without the force field, with the force field on one helmet, without the force field, with the force field on the other helmet. So, gosh, you would buy what, 3 of them or 4 of them? I don't know, to display all of them at one time. Where does that stand? Where does that put you? Or you just buy one and then just display one? I don't know. I just watched a cartoon called, Star Wars cartoon, that's on Disney. that had a 2021 date on it, but it looked like it was something done straight out of the 70s. It actually looked like heavy metal artwork, if you remember heavy metal, the movie from way back in the days, the early 80s, I think is when that came out, 82 possibly, maybe 83. Um, and it had Boba Fett in it again as well. I can't remember what the name of that was. Again, it's on Disney Plus. All sorts of stuff on Disney. And speaking of killing him off, so George had said that if he realized that Boba Fett was going to be as popular a character as he became, he wouldn't have killed him off in the first installment of seeing him in Return of the Jedi when they killed him off with that in that was it a Sarlacc they fell into. So that's why he brought him back to life out of that. Um, what Same thing with Darth Maul. He said he didn't expect him to turn out to be such a popular character, and he did again. So we're seeing a lot of Darth Maul stuff as well. Yeah, Luke, Han, and Leia are gone. Sure enough. And, that I'm just glad that John Favreau now is giving the reins to Star Wars. He's the one that started the MCU for the most part with Iron Man, and look where that went. So Marvel, that was kind of in trouble, had been in trouble for decades, and even Sony was having a hard time with Spider-Man. They would make a good movie, and then they just couldn't continue up. They couldn't continue the storyline. They would screw it up every time. And here John Favreau comes out with Iron Man, and boom, look what we done with that. And Kathleen Kennedy was handed the frickin' golden goose. Anything that said Star Wars on it made money. Anything, until she touched it. And okay, maybe it still made money, but it certainly didn't make money the way that it could have. And they went ahead and decided they wanted to screw everything up. So I'm glad that John Favreau has been put in charge of all of that, and hopefully he's going to be able to correct some things. I don't know, but yeah, Harrison Ford was tired of playing Han Solo anyhow. Luke was really disenfranchised with how Kathleen Kennedy was running that, so he would gladly come back, I guarantee you, if they treated his character properly. But that's his opinion. I believe he would come back. And Carrie Fisher, rest in peace. We'll never see her again. But they digitized her for the movies, and of course there's a big controversy over that. But we've lost her totally. But Harrison was out. He was tired. He didn't want to do Han anymore. So he was probably very happy to have him killed off. But Luke was just so furious about the whole thing. Absolutely furious. So he would probably come back if Favreau could work his character properly. Yeah, if you watch any of the interviews with Mark Hamill when the movies were coming out, he was warning us. He was telling us all, he's like, you're not going to like it. It's crap. He was really pissed off about the whole thing. Really was. Yeah, I cannot wait for a year for Loki. Oh my God. It'd be nice if they could do it maybe like a September release again, another 6 movies. But I guarantee you there's not. There's not. We'll be waiting until June next year. Or maybe March would be nice if they could come out earlier. But we're going to be waiting till June next year. Man, oh man, oh man. I am so ready for it again. I'll probably watch Loki over. I've been thinking about that last couple of nights, as a matter of fact. I was like, I'll start Loki over again and watch it again. It was really a very well done series. For fact, Loki was very well done. Just like the Mandalorian series. Very well done. Jon Favreau was in charge of that. And I forget the name of the other director, producer that was involved in it. Dave, did the Clone Wars. what the hell's his name? But no, Star Wars is in good hands, in my opinion. It's in the hands of people who have love and um, passion for Star Wars. You know, they don't hate the show. They're not trying to change it. They're not trying to use it as an agenda to push their opinions. They're making shows because they want to make shows. The talking about the comic Iron Man. You're probably right, man. You're probably right. Yeah, you can either display it with the plastic piece on or without the plastic piece. So you have those two options of being able to display it in either one of those. But yeah, you're probably right. If I don't get them, I'm probably going to be kicking myself. Yeah, I watch so much Disney, it's not even funny now. Um, there's so much stuff that is tied to them that I have no problem subscribing to it every month. I really don't. And I don't know, is there another Marvel short series coming out? Have you all heard anything? Put on a few pounds reminds you of you. So many characters, but Luke was Star Wars for me, so not the same. Yeah. And he tried to warn us. Mark Hamill tried to warn us that Kathleen Kennedy was out of her mind. Yeah, Harrison was tired of Han. I don't know if he hated him. And I don't remember if it's Han Solo or Han Solo, but I think Harrison was just tired of him. I don't think he hated him. I think he was just tired of him. I mean, he'd been playing him since the '80s or '70s. I mean, so remember Harrison got his start for the most part with George in American Graffiti, and then story has it that he was set building at Star Wars, and George asked him to read a line, and that's how he got cast for it in the first place. So he wasn't looking for the part as it stands, and ended up getting it just for being there. But Harrison was in American Graffiti, so he'd been playing. I mean, he's such a wonderful actor in the first place. I guess he just didn't like people remembering him as that. But there's so many memorable other scenes, other movies that he's he's done so much. Blade Runner, of course. Jeez, one of my all-time absolute favorite movies, no matter. Uh, Dave Filoni, yeah, that's him. Dave Filoni. He's another one that has pure on full passion and love for the franchise. Absolutely, him and Favreau absolutely have all the heart in the world for Star Wars, and they're the ones that have been given the reins by Disney. Thank God, and they'll be the ones that'll be doing this, and they're supposed to be trying to correct it in some way, if at all possible, is what the plan is. If I understood what I information that I came across surfing the internet, but let's see what they can do. Like I said, Marvel didn't have much of any real hope of doing anything. I mean, Iron Man was a shot in the dark, and the script was even being changed while they were filming. They pretty much let the actors do pretty much whatever they wanted in that regards. And Iron Man 2 is when they started cracking down on things. And I don't remember when Feige got involved. I don't remember if Feige was involved in the very first one, but as soon as The Godfather, more or less, got in there and made sure that everything was tied in together, that's when it became what it is now. And that's what it takes. That's what it takes to make quality stuff right there. You have to have love for it. Like Michael Bay destroying all the Transformers. I love the Transformer movies, but Michael Bay just didn't have the passion for it. He didn't. And I love the Transformer movies. Okay, but he just didn't have the passion for it, in my opinion. Good movies, could have been better. Patrick, how you doing? Patrick DeCambra, welcome. We're about wrapping this up, man. Um, 2 hours is what I try to run these shows, and we're just knocking on 2 hours now. So wrapping it up. AMC Harrison Ford in the Frisco Kid with Gene Wilder movie. I'm trying to remember if I've seen that or not. I remember him in that movie, The Witness, about the Amish family. Don't remember if I've seen Frisco. So I have a feeling I did, but I don't remember it at this point. What's coming to my mind with Gene Wilder and Western is Blazing Saddles. Of course, I remember the scene where he's like talking about why he retired, being the fastest gun in the West, and he goes, "Look at that." And I forget the name of the actor who was the sheriff, and he goes, "Looks pretty steady." And he goes, "Yeah, this is my shooting hand." Gene Wilder, a nut. He's a great comedic actor. So, I guess that's about it. Thank you very much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share. Go to Patreon if you want to send me a tip. If you enjoy my work, tip me out. Let me know that you enjoy me. www.patreon.com/Siri Emerald, SIRIEMERALD. You'll get nothing for sending me $1, but just my eternal gratification, because it's just a way of you directly showing me that you appreciate what I do. It's just a tip, $1 a month. If you have it, throw my way, or more, whatever you feel. Like I said, you tip your waitress for bringing you a hamburger. That's all I'm saying. Throw me $1 if you like. If you have, if you can't, don't worry about it. It's I don't make my money. I'm not living off of money from these shows. I have a real job that pays for these toys. So if you throw me $1 through Patreon, it's just you showing me that you appreciate what I do, and I thank you for that. I really do. And those of you who are Patreon supporters, thank you immensely. I appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the content. Thank you very much. So I will see you all next time. Um, Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, thank you. I think so. I think it's finally going down. I'll know next week for fact. They said last week I would know this week. It's all about in regards to this person who really wants to buy it. Is her money's tied up in a trust, and that's lawyers. So whenever there's a few people you'll never get your money away from easily. The bank never wants to give you your money. If you think they do, if you have a lot of money in the bank, go try to withdraw all that money. You'll find out real quick they don't want you taking the money out of the bank. Another one you'll never get money out of are attorneys. So, they have a trust fund. The attorneys are in charge of your money. You ain't getting your money. So that's where that's tied up at. So hopefully that'll be coming through. So thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. I really enjoy spending the time with you and talking with you. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. So take care. Enjoy. If your COVID restrictions have been released, enjoy getting out there and saying hello to everybody else. Get out there and do the things you used to do. Go to the events. Go do something. Get out in the movies. Go enjoy a movie if you have that where you are. It's nice. Go out and enjoy some sunshine. Have fun, guys. Thanks. Peace. I love you all. See you all next week. Bye.